Good evening. This is All India Radio. I am Naresh Mago and with me is Nipunika Shahid with the evening news. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says several reforms have been brought in to further ease of doing business and encourage entrepreneurship. Home Minister Amit Shah chairs Western Zonal Council meeting at Div, launches various development projects and inaugurates decommissioned INS Kokri as a museum. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman dedicates to the nation Dharohar, National Museum of Customs and GST in Goa. Union Minister Dr. Jitendra Singh says in the past 8 years of NDA rule, number of female entrepreneur-owned biotech companies has risen exponentially. President Ramnath Kovind visits Atal Tunnel Rohtang in Himachal Pradesh, says future of the nation is connected with Atal Tunnel. WTO Ministerial Conference to begin from tomorrow in Geneva. Commerce and Industry Minister Piyush Goyal to lead Indian delegation. United Nations General Assembly adopts India-sponsored resolution on multilingualism, mentions Hindi language for the first time. 4 holy relics of Lord Buddha from India to be taken to Mongolia for an 11-day exposition as part of celebrations of Mongolian Buddha Purnima. Indian Grandmaster Vishwanathan Anand clinches 3rd place in Norway chess tournament, defeating Aryan Tari in final round of classical section. Lavlina Borgohain and Nikhat Zareen among 12-member Indian boxing contingent selected for upcoming 2022 Commonwealth Games. And in cricket, India to take on South Africa in second 2020 International, a 5-match series at Cuttack tomorrow. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said that the government has brought in several reforms that have furthered the ease of doing business. In a tweet, Mr. Modi said, many outdated laws which slowed down growth have been removed. With the mantra of reform, perform and transform, India has emerged as the fastest growing major economy in the world. Prime Minister Modi has shared details of reforms during the last 8 years in the field of ease of doing business and for spreading widespread prosperity and encouraging entrepreneurship. He shared a MyGov tweet thread and articles from his website and Namo app. Union Home and Cooperation Minister Amit Shah has said the Narendra Modi-led government has brought a big change in all the sections of the society in just 8 years. The minister said the development has reached the doorstep of the common man of the country. He was addressing a public gathering after laying the foundation stone for various developmental projects worth 75 crore rupees at Div. Earlier, the minister chaired the Western Zonal Council meeting at Div. Various issues related to interstate boundary, security, infrastructure, transport and industries were discussed in the meeting. The Home Minister said, strong states make a strong nation and zonal councils play a vital role in ensuring cooperative federalism. The meeting was attended by the Chief Ministers of Gujarat and Goa along with the ministers and officials from the western states and UTs. The council comprises Gujarat, Maharashtra, Goa, Dadra and Nagar Haveli and Daman and Div.
Union Minister for Finance and Corporate Affairs Nirmala Sitharaman dedicated to the nation Dharohar, the National Museum of Customs and GST in Panaji to Goa today. The dedication ceremony, a part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, iconic week of the Ministry of Finance, was performed in a unique manner. The Finance Minister removed the golden sand from single rock art installed at the centuries-old heritage building in which the museum is housed. The 2-story blue building, which was earlier known as Alfandega, during the period of Portuguese rule in Goa, has been standing on the banks of the Mandovi River in Panaji for more than 400 years. Minister of State for Finance Pankaj Chaudhary and other dignitaries were also present on the occasion. Dharohar is one of its kind of museums in the country that showcases not only the artifacts seized by Indian Customs, but also depicts various aspects of work performed by the Customs Department. Dharohar has 8 galleries. GST Gallery is the brand new addition to the Dharohar Museum, a first of its kind initiative in the country. This GST Gallery takes one through the long and arduous journey of GST spanning 2 decades. Union Minister Dr. Jitendra Singh has said in the past 8 years of government, the number of female entrepreneur-owned biotech companies have seen exponential rise, and this can be aptly described as women-led empowerment rather than women empowerment. Dr. Singh said this while addressing the session, The Way Forward, at Biotech Startup Expo at Pragati Maidan in New Delhi today. He said that India is moving from women-specific to women-led projects in the biotech startup sector. He said India is looking at a growth of the biotech sector from $70 billion to $150 billion in the next 4 years, and it cannot be accomplished without the active participation of women. He informed that the number of biotech startups in the country has increased from 50 to over 5,000 in the last 8 years because of the support provided by Prime Minister Narendra Modi ever since he took over in 2014. Dr. Singh added the startups are expected to cross the figure of 10,000 by 2025. Union Information and Broadcasting and Youth Affairs Minister Anurag Singh Thakur today said that a lot has been done for the youth of the country in the last 8 years of NDA regime. Talking to AIR News after Garib Kalyan Jan Sabha in Bakshi Ka Talab area of Lucknow, Mr. Thakur said that now the youth of the country have become job providers also. Reacting on the use of youth power in destructive acts like violence and stone pelting in recent incidents in the country, the Youth Affairs Minister said that it is unfortunate that some people are trying to disrupt the growth of the country.
कुछ लोग ऐसा प्रयास करते हैं कि जो देश आगे बढ़ रहा है उस पे कहीं ना कहीं रोक लगाई जाए, छवि खराब की जाए। शायद ये बहुत लोग पचा नहीं पाए कि कैसे भारत दुनिया की सबसे तेजी से बढ़ती अर्थव्यवस्था बन गई, कैसे भारत ने 193 करोड़ वैक्सीन लगा ली, कैसे भारत ने 80 करोड़ लोगों को 28 महीने तक मुफ्त में राशन देने का काम किया, और जिस तरह से पक्के मकान से लेकर बाकी सब किया है, तो ये सब करके ये लाभ मिला है। और ये जब कोई पचा नहीं पाता तो उसका ध्यान होता है किस तरह से एजेंडा दूसरी तरफ घुमाने का काम किया जा सके।
President Ramnath Kovind today visited Atal Tunnel Rohtang, which connects Kulu and Lahore-Spiti districts, on the second and final day of his visit to Himachal Pradesh. On his arrival, the President was accorded a traditional welcome at Sisu helipad in Lahore-Spiti. Chief Minister Jairam Thakur welcomed him by presenting him with a Thanka painting. Governor Rajendra Arlekar and State Minister Ramlal Markanda were also present on the occasion. President Kovind visited the Atal Tunnel from North Portal of Lahaul's Valley to South Portal of Kulu district. After visiting the Atal Tunnel, Mr. Kovind expressed happiness over the extremely sophisticated construction of the tunnel. He added that the more the infrastructure increases, the more the nation will progress. It may be recalled that the Atal Tunnel Rohtang, which connects Kulu and Lahore-Spiti districts, was inaugurated by Prime Minister Narendra Modi on 3rd October 2020. The 9.2-kilometer long Atal Tunnel Rohtang is the world's longest highway single-tube tunnel located at about 10,000 feet. Union Ministers Nirmala Sitharaman and Piyush Goyal, BJP leader Ghanshyam Tiwari, and Congress's Jairam Ramesh, Randeep Singh Surjewala, Mukul Vasnik and Pramod Tiwari, NCP's Praful Patel and Shiv Sena's Sanjay Raut were among those who won the recent Rajya Sabha elections. The BJP registered a win in 8 out of 16 seats of the Rajya Sabha in 4 states, while Congress managed to bag 5 seats. The biennial elections to the upper house of parliament were held for 6 seats in Maharashtra, 4 each in Karnataka and Rajasthan, along with 2 seats in Haryana yesterday. The results for all 4 states were declared early this morning. In Maharashtra, the ruling alliance of Shiv Sena, NCP and Congress won 3 out of 6 seats, while the BJP bagged 3 seats. Besides Union Minister Piyush Goyal, the BJP winners include former State Minister Anil Bonde and party leader Dhananjay Mahadik. NCP's Prafulla Patel, Congress's Imran Pratap Gadi and Shiv Sena's Sanjay Raut were also elected to the Rajya Sabha from the state. In Haryana, BJP candidate Krishan Lal Panwar and independent candidate Kartikeya Sharma, backed by the party and its ally JJP, have won 2 Rajya Sabha seats. In Karnataka, the BJP won 3 seats and the Congress got 1 seat. Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman, actor politician Jagesh and MLC Leher Singh Siroya have been elected to Rajya Sabha from the BJP, while Congress's Jairam Ramesh won the remaining 1 seat. In Rajasthan, the Congress won 3 of the 4 Rajya Sabha seats, while 1 seat was won by the BJP. Randeep Singh Surjewala, Mukul Vasnik and Pramod Tiwari were the winners from the Congress party. Ghanshyam Tiwari clinched one seat for the BJP in the state. The Rajya Sabha election is crucial in view of the presidential election next month. The biennial elections to Rajya Sabha were held to fill 57 seats in the upper house across 15 states.
The 12th World Trade Organization WTO Ministerial Conference will begin from tomorrow in Geneva, Switzerland, after a gap of almost 5 years. The key areas of discussions and negotiations in this year's conference include WTO's response to the pandemic, fisheries subsidies negotiations, and agriculture issues, including public stockholding for food security. The Indian delegation will be headed by Commerce and Industry Minister Piyush Goyal. India has a vital stake in protecting the interests of all stakeholders in the country, as well as the interests of the developing and poor nations that look up to the leadership of India at multilateral forums including WTO. The United Nations General Assembly UNGA has adopted an India-sponsored resolution on multilingualism that mentions the Hindi language for the first time. The resolution passed yesterday urges the United Nations to continue spreading vital communications and messages in both official and non-official languages, including Hindi. India's permanent representative to the United Nations, T.S. Trimurti, said multilingualism is acknowledged as a basic principle of the United Nations and expressed gratitude to the Secretary-General for supporting multilingualism. He said for the first time, the Hindi language is mentioned in the resolution besides Bangla and Urdu. India's COVID-19 vaccination coverage has crossed 195 crore landmark milestone today. The Health Ministry said more than 11,30,000 vaccine doses were administered today. You're listening to the evening news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says several reforms have been brought in to further ease of doing business and encourage entrepreneurship. Home Minister Amit Shah chairs Western Zonal Council meeting at Diu, launches various development projects and inaugurates decommissioned INS Kukri as a museum. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman dedicates to Nation Dharohar, National Museum of Customs and GST in Goa. Union Minister Dr. Jitendra Singh says in the past 8 years of NDA rule, number of female entrepreneur-owned biotech companies have risen exponentially. President Ramnath Kovind visits Atal Tunnel Rohtang in Himachal Pradesh, says future of the nation is connected with Atal Tunnel. WTO Ministerial Conference to begin from tomorrow in Geneva. Commerce and Industry Minister Piyush Goyal to lead Indian delegation. United Nations General Assembly adopts India-sponsored resolution on multilingualism, mentions Hindi language for first time. 4 holy relics of Lord Buddha from India to be taken to Mongolia for an 11-day exposition as part of celebrations of Mongolian Buddha Purnima. Indian Grandmaster Vishwanathan Anand clinches third place in Norway chess tournament after defeating Aryan Tari in final round of classical section. Lovlina Borgohain and Nikhat Zareen among 12-member Indian boxing contingent selected for upcoming 2022 Commonwealth Games. And in cricket, India to take on South Africa in second 2020 International of 5-match series at Cuttack tomorrow. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle @AIR News Alerts.
अपने बिजनेस को बढ़ाने के लिए लीजिए आकाशवाणी का सहयोग और दीजिए उसे बुलंदियों के पंख।
आपका बिजनेस लोकल है या राष्ट्रीय, आकाशवाणी देती है उपभोक्ताओं तक पहुंचने का हर विकल्प।
और अब तो आप घर, दफ्तर या दुकान पर बैठे बैठे कर सकते हैं आकाशवाणी के किसी भी केंद्र के लिए विज्ञापनों की बुकिंग।
आकाशवाणी के विभिन्न चैनलों पर विज्ञापन देना सुलभ और सस्ता।
बुकिंग है तो संपर्क करें 8700014242 पर।
8700014242।
कंपटीशन की अगर आप कर रहे हैं तैयारी, तो उनके लिए ऑल इंडिया रेडियो पर हम लाए हैं अभ्यास, एक ऐसा कार्यक्रम जिसमें आप पूछेंगे सवाल व्हाट्सएप नंबर 9289094044 पर, या फिर ईमेल करेंगे abhyas.airnews@gmail.com पर, और हमारे विशेषज्ञ देंगे इसका जवाब। आपका अभ्यास हमारा प्रयास।
The 11th episode of Abhyas program will be aired today. The topic for this episode is Economy. All India Radio News has got an overwhelming response for the show, with questions received from across the country. Dr. Narendra Thakur, Department of Economics, Bhimrao Ambedkar College, University of Delhi, will be responding to the queries of the aspirants. This episode of Abhyas will be on air on 100.1 FM Gold at 9:30 tonight. You can access it on Twitter at AIR News Alerts or on AIR News Official YouTube channel and also on the News on AIR app. Also for the next episode on 18th June, the subject chosen is Indian Society. The deadline for submission of questions is 15th June 2022. In the last 8 years of the NDA rule, the government has made several efforts to protect the environment. It was due to the centre's efforts that the forest cover in the country has seen a significant rise. A report.
As compared to 2019, forest cover in the country has increased to 2,261 kilometers in 2021. Renowned as Lady Tarzan of Jharkhand and Padma Shri awardee Jamuna Tudu appreciates government efforts.
आज का दिन में जंगल अच्छा हुआ है, पहले की तरह आज जंगल बहुत घना है। जंगल अगर रहेगा तो जंगल में जानवर भी रहेंगे, अगर जंगल ही नहीं रहेगा तो जानवर कहाँ रहेंगे। इसलिए जंगल है तो बढ़ रहे हैं। सरकार बहुत अच्छा काम कर रहा है, इसके लिए मैं भारत सरकार को धन्यवाद देना चाहूंगी, जो जंगल के लिए, पर्यावरण के लिए उन्होंने बहुत अच्छा काम कर रहे हैं।
Due to wildlife conservation efforts, today the number of tigers has seen a rise. Tigers in India has seen a rise from 1,706 in the year 2010 to 2,967 in the year 2018. India has already achieved the target of doubling the tiger population in the country, well ahead of the set target. The population of one-horned rhino has seen a 15% rise. Similarly, the population of elephants in the country is also on the rise. Padma Shri awardee and environmentalist Shyam Sundar Paliwal gave credit to the government for the rise in the number of wild animals and forest cover.
मोदी जी ने प्राकृतिक आधारित रोजगार और प्राकृतिक खेती पर जोर दिया है, जिसका असर ये हो रहा है कि गाँवों में जो जहर युक्त होती थी, जिससे बड़ी संख्या में लोगों को कैंसर का सामना करना पड़ रहा था, आज जहर मुक्त खेती से लोगों को रोजगार मिल रहा है और लोग स्वस्थ रह रहे हैं। ये सबसे बड़ी उपलब्धि है मोदी जी की सरकार।
In the last 8 years, government commitment towards Jal, Jungle and Zameen, water, forest and land gives new hope. With Diwakar, Anupam Mishra, AR News, Delhi.
In a special gesture towards the people of Mongolia, 4 holy relics of Lord Buddha are being taken from India to Mongolia for an 11-day exposition as part of celebrations of Mongolian Buddha Purnima falling on the 14th of this month. A 25-member delegation led by Union Minister of Law and Justice Kiran Rijiju accompanying the sacred relics will leave for Mongolia tomorrow. The holy relics will be displayed at the Batsgand temple within the premises of Gandan Monastery. The holy Buddha relics currently housed in the National Museum are known as the Kapilvastu relics since they are from a site in Bihar first discovered in 1898, which is believed to be the ancient city of Kapilvastu. Briefing the media in New Delhi today, Mr. Rijiju said it is another historic milestone in the India-Mongolia relations and will further boost cultural and spiritual relations between the two countries. He said Mr. Modi was the first ever Prime Minister of India to visit Mongolia, and taking the relics to Mongolia is an extension of the vision of the Prime Minister to revive the relations with the countries with whom India has had cultural and spiritual ties since centuries ago.
And now let's listen to our special program Azadi Ka Safar, highlighting the importance of the day during the freedom struggle.
Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav.
Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News, Birth of a Nation.
India's glorious freedom struggle is one of the greatest struggles the modern world has ever witnessed. AIR News brings you a glimpse of the struggle every day.
In today's episode, we remember the legendary freedom fighter Prasad Bismil, who was born on the 11th of June 1897 at Shahjahanpur, Uttar Pradesh. He is well known for being a part of the Mainpuri conspiracy in 1918 and the Kakori conspiracy in 1925.
वक्त आने पर बता देंगे तुझे ओ आसमां हम अभी से क्या बताएं क्या हमारे दिल में है.
Bismil was a patriotic poet and wrote in Hindi and Urdu using the pen names Ram, Agyat and Bismil. He immortalized the poems Sarfaroshi ki Tamanna, Man ki Leher and Swadeshi Rang as a war cry against the British Raj. Bhagat Singh praised him as a great poet-writer of Urdu and Hindi, who had also translated the books Catherine and Bolshevikon ki Kartoot.
भेंट कर लाई है सबको कत्ल होने की उम्मीद आशिकों का आज जमघट कूचाए कातिल में है.
Bismil's friendship with fellow revolutionary Ashfaqullah Khan Warsi is legendary. The two, along with Roshan Singh, were executed on the 19th of December 1927 for their revolutionary activities. Ram Prasad Bismil's last message, which he wrote on the 16th of December 1927, was published in the magazine Kirti.
The time of execution is fixed for 6:30 a.m. on the 19th of December. Nothing to worry. I shall be reborn again and again due to God's grace, and my aim will be to ensure complete freedom for the world, that nature's gifts should be equally shared by all, and no one shall rule others. Everywhere, people should have their democratic institutions. My only request to countrymen is that if they had even an iota of sorrow at our death, then, with whatever means, they must establish Hindu-Muslim unity. That was our last wish, and this only can be our memorial. Whatever I am saying, same is the opinion of Shri Ashfaqullah Khan Warsi. My request to the youth is that, till many people get educated, don't pay attention to secret organizations. If they have the desire to serve the country, they should work openly. Just listening to empty rhetoric and imagining green pastures, they should not put their lives in trouble.
AIR News salutes the great freedom fighter.
We also remember independence activist Rudra Pratap Singh, who was arrested on the 11th of June 1941 for taking part in the individual satyagraha.
Rudra Pratap Singh was born in 1916 in district Narsinghpur, Madhya Pradesh. He was sentenced to 6 months imprisonment for taking part in the individual satyagraha under the Defence of India rules. He was imprisoned again for taking part in the Quit India movement and detained in Narsinghpur, Nagpur and Jabalpur jails between June 1943 and March 1945. He was released to avoid his custodial death, but soon after his release, he died of tortures and broken health. AIR News salutes the
We also remember Martyr Sikandar, who took part in the First War of Independence in 1857. Sikandar took part in the resistance against the company rule and also inspired others to join hands with the independence activists. He was caught while defending against the British attacks and charged with sedition and rebellion against the British. Sikandar was sentenced to imprisonment for 10 years with labour in iron. He died in the Andaman Islands on the 11th of June 1859. We salute the great son of the soil.
That brings us to the end of this episode of Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. See you in the next episode tomorrow.
In shooting, Avni Lekhara has won the gold medal at the Shatru 2022 World Cup today. The Tokyo Paralympian has won in the R8 event, women's 50-meter rifle 3 positions SH1 with a score of 458.3. She beat Veronika Vadovikova of Slovakia to win this title and gold for India. Home Minister Amit Shah and Sports Minister Anurag Singh Thakur have congratulated Avni Lekhara on her feat. Indian Grandmaster Vishwanathan Anand defeated Norway's Arjen Tari in the 9th and final round of the classical section to clinch the 3rd place in Norway chess tournament today. Anand won the Armageddon round against Norwegian after the classical match ended in a 22-move draw. The Boxing Federation of India has selected a 12-member Indian boxing contingent, including 8 male boxers, for the upcoming 2022 Commonwealth Games scheduled from 28th July to 8th August. Tokyo Olympics bronze medalist Lavlina Borgohain and reigning world champion Nikhil Zareen lived up to the expectations and booked their places in the Indian boxing contingent for the Birmingham Games by registering comprehensive victories on the final day of the trials today. The 3-day trials held at the Indira Gandhi Indoor Stadium in New Delhi also saw Neetu 48 kg and Jasmine 60 kg making their way into the 4-member Indian women's team after clinching hard-fought victories in their respective finals. Based on the results of the trials, Shiva Thapa 63.5 kg, Amit Pangal 51 kg, Mohammad Husamuddin 57 kg, Rohit Tokar 67 kg, Sumit 75 kg had secured their spots in the men's sections after victories in the trials held earlier this month.
In cricket, India take on South Africa in the second 2020 international of the 5-match series in Cuttack tomorrow. The match will begin at 7 p.m. In the first match played at Arun Jaitley Stadium in Delhi on the 9th of this month, South Africa defeated India by 7 wickets. In the Khelo India Youth Games 2021, Haryana retained the top position in the medals tally with 36 gold, 33 silver and 38 bronze medals. Haryana has so far grabbed 107 medals. Maharashtra are in the second position with 92 medals and Karnataka are in the third position. Let us have a look at the weather forecast for tomorrow. The national capital Delhi will have a partly cloudy sky with possibility of development of thunder lightning. Temperature will hover between 30 and 43 degrees Celsius. Mumbai, Chennai and Kolkata will have a generally cloudy sky, and Srinagar and Jammu will have a partly cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. And now before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says several reforms have been brought in to further ease of doing business and encourage entrepreneurship. Home Minister Amit Shah chairs Western Zonal Council meeting at Div, launches various development projects and inaugurates decommissioned INS Kukri as a museum. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman dedicates to the nation Dharohar, National Museum of Customs and GST in Goa. Union Minister Dr. Jitendra Singh says in the past 8 years of NDA rule, number of female entrepreneur-owned biotech companies has risen exponentially. President Ramnath Kovind visits Atal Tunnel Rohtang in Himachal Pradesh, says future of the nation is connected with Atal Tunnel. WTO Ministerial Conference to begin from tomorrow in Geneva. Commerce and Industry Minister Piyush Goyal to lead the Indian delegation. The United Nations General Assembly adopts India-sponsored resolution on multilingualism, mentions Hindi language for the first time. 4 holy relics of Lord Buddha from India to be taken to Mongolia for an 11-day exposition as part of celebrations of Mongolian Buddha Purnima. Indian Grandmaster Vishwanathan Anand clinches 3rd place in Norway chess tournament after defeating Arjen Tari in final round of classical section. Lavlina Borgohain and Nikhil Zareen among 12-member Indian boxing contingent selected for the upcoming 2022 Commonwealth Games. In cricket, India to take on South Africa in second 2020 international of the 5-match series in Cuttack tomorrow. And with that, we end the evening news. Good night.
संकट में भागीदार भारत सरकार। कोरोना महामारी में 80 करोड़ लोगों को मिला मुफ्त राशन। 31,90,000 रेहड़ी पटरी वालों को मिला बिना गारंटी लोन।
सबका साथ, सबका विकास, सबका विश्वास और सबका प्रयास।
8 साल सेवा, सुशासन, गरीब कल्याण।